Yes folks, it's been a long time coming. Finally, it's the Poundland Survival Challenge. And yes, this bag is included in the Survival Challenge. It's a bit garish, it's got the British flag, it's very apt, but everything I need for the 24 hours is in this bag. Let me show you the gear. I spent, I think it was 19, hold on a minute, let's sort this out. Please say I bought the receipt. I didn't bring the receipt, did I, you idiot? Right. I spent under £20. The aim was to spend the least amount of money as possible on the items that I'd need for the 24-hour period. I will put a picture of the receipt somewhere up here on the screen right now. I don't know, I can't remember the final figure, it's £19 something. I kept it under £20. I wanted to make it £10, but thanks to inflation and everything that's going on in the world right now, prices are double everywhere, and this was the cheapest I could get it. If I'd have done this film 5 years ago, or 6 years ago, I definitely would have been able to do it for £10. Anyway, here's the gear. As I get each item out, I will tell you what the price is. This is the blanket. This is what I'm going to be sleeping kind of on and around me tonight. It's going to be a warm evening, so I'm hoping that will be enough. Nighttime temperatures still get cold, so I'm going to be cold tonight, but blanket. My cutting tool tonight will be scissors. I couldn't really find a cheap enough knife to keep it under £20. Some batteries, because there is a head torch and it doesn't come with any batteries. So I've got some batteries as well. Some strong, secure duct tape. This was actually the only camping related item that Poundland did. A little cook pot with no handle, so that's going to be fun to try and get off the fire. Some string, tons of string. My shelter for the night, multi-use tarp. And some lighters. These were cheap enough, which was handy. And then we're on to the last things, which is food and water. For food, my meal this evening, what's that say? Bachelor's, pasta and sauce, tomato, onion and herb. And then for breakfast, baked beans. That's it. Oh no, and then obviously water. I bought this 4-pack. Hold on a minute, why is it pink? Oh no. I snatched it quickly thinking, oh, there's just 4 little, what are they, 200ml, 500ml bottles of water, 4 of them. I thought, oh, I'll grab them. What I've not realised, I don't know if you can read that, but they are apple and raspberry flavoured water. And I've got to cook the pasta in the water. I didn't really think that one through. I better not boil it too much because I'm just going to get a syrup, pasta syrup. Man, what an idiot. Anyway, that's going to be fun. And that's it. That's my items. And there you have it, folks. That is everything for the Poundland Survival Challenge. This was £6, by the way. £6. What has Poundland come to these days? I remember when everything actually used to be £1. So for those wondering what Poundland is across the pond, it's essentially the same, I guess, as your dollar store or your Dollar Tree, that type of store. Back in the day, here in the UK, Poundland, everything used to be pretty much £1 or near enough. Nowadays, they've had to obviously diversify from that because I guess they, have to with the way things were and the cost of things. They've gone up a bit in price, which is why things like this are £6. This fleece is almost half the price of everything here. Yeah, it's actually quite hard to do a really, really cheap £10 budget survival challenge, certainly here in the UK. Poundland is one of our cheapest stores. But anyway, it's still going. Woolworths went down the pan, Poundland is still surviving. Oh, and of course, the bag itself. I actually paid for the bag itself to carry all these items here into the woods. I can't remember what that cost me, but it's a bag for life, so it should last me a while. The shelter will be first. It's one of those really cheap tarps. Cheap and garish and loud. I didn't actually, oh man, it's really small. I didn't take this into consideration. Oh, this is stupid. 2x1 meters. And actually looking at the picture, it's for a bicycle. Wow, it's a good job I'm a small guy. I really hope this tarp has some eyelets or something to tie it out from. Oh boy, that's it. Okay. I might as well wrap myself up in this and cry myself to sleep tonight. Hey, we'll make something work. We'll make it work. Let's tie some string on. Open up my trusty scissors. Put everything in the bag. No plastics getting wasted here. 3 pack of string, so at least that's a bit of a bargain. Right. I'm going to walk and talk you through what I'm doing, guys. I appreciate not everyone likes talking in videos, but maybe just, mosquito, need to know my thought process. But there's 4 eyelets on this tarp. No, there's not. There's 6 eyelets on this tarp. Now we're talking. I'm going to feed the string through here, and I'm just going to tie a slip knot. Hopefully most of you know how to tie a slip knot. If you don't, I'm pretty sure there's a video on my channel somewhere called Knots. Now, I'm going to lay my tarp out in between the trees to gauge first. There's a lot of bugs out. I haven't worn any bug spray. Totally forgot to bring it with me, so I might have to get a fire going soon to get rid of them. Another slip knot. I'm using lots of string because I've got so much of it. I don't mind overdoing the cordage. So I don't have any knife sheath or anything to attach the scissors to me, and they're really important because they're my only cutting tool. So I just figure I'm gonna tuck them down my belt, push them down. They're tight enough and they're not going anywhere, and they're not the sharpest of tips like a knife is, so it shouldn't stab me. I don't want to lose them. We're going for a low profile setup because we have a very small tarp. Now I need some stakes. Stop. Scissor time. Let's just see how this goes. Moment of truth. Yeah, it's a bit of a bendy stick for a tent stake, but it works with scissors still. I can get a point on it. Just about. Bendy tent stake. So it's a little bit flimsy. What I'm going to do is just chuck some leaves. There's some gaps here. I'm just going to chuck some leaves on that. Stop the airflow flapping the tarp around loads, and just pin it down a bit. By doing that, it basically tightens this section a little bit. So just do that. That's it. That's all that I've got protecting me from above for tonight. Now I've checked the forecast and we had a high of 28 degrees today, Celsius, and this evening, this evening is going down to, it's only going down to 13 degrees Celsius or something, maybe 14. It's a really mild evening, which is why I can get away with this directly on the floor, wrapped around me. Now, the cold, it will still get cold this evening and it will still sap my body temperature, and I know it will, and I've done it before, and you do get cold. To keep my thermal body mass warmer, I would normally keep those leaves there and just sleep on top of them, as many leaves as possible to stop the ground sucking the cold out. But we are peak summer, which means peak tick season, and there's lots of ticks this year. I don't know why, they're just everywhere. I've already had a few this year already, and maybe you guys have them bad where you are. Like there's no, that's a mosquito. Yeah, and I'd rather not. They're in the leaf litter a lot, so if I sweep that away, that's hopefully gets rid of a few, but chances are I'll get one. Anyway, this is my sleep setup. Interestingly though, inside this, yeah, There's some cardboard. This is going to help out with the fire lighting later, but this is all I've got to sleep with tonight. Oh, here you go. 170 centimetres by 130 centimetres. Oh, there you go. That's better. So yeah, that'll be good enough to sleep in. On. That's the plan. Oh, it's lovely. It's soft though. Oh, that is really comfy. Oh, yes, please. Do you know that tarp's actually the ideal length for a small guy like me? Plan is tonight to sleep wrapped up. I've got a jumper, by the way, as well, just as an extra layer, and another thermal layer underneath this, which I'm not wearing yet because it's too hot. But this is the plan for tonight. I think that's all right. It's not bad. So it's peak summer. It's been fairly dry, and I'm going to have a fire, hopefully, if I can get it going. But I don't want to be stupid about it, guys. It has been a fairly dry summer. We had, thankfully, a thunderstorm last night, which is giving everything a good soaking. But I'm always wary, so I have bought an extra item to prevent any damage to the forest floor, any danger of sparks lighting up the forest, etc. You can class it as cheating. I don't care. I want to be able to protect the forest. It makes no difference to the actual challenge whether I have a fire in this or fire on the floor. I still have to have a fire. So I'm going to set it up regardless, and I know some of you will be a bit annoyed with me for that. But look, guys, it's okay. Go make yourself a cup of tea. Take a deep breath. There we go. So this is just a fire bowl, a base to have a fire in. I showed it in a video recently, which I'll put up in the corner here, on fire safety stuff in the woods. Comes compact like that, folds it out, and I can have a fire and cook. So now I need some firewood. The legs just keep it off the ground as well. I have cleared the area of leaves by about 2 meters around this fire, just to be extra safe. That's a classic case of a wood that you think is dry, but actually still has been living fairly recently. It still has moisture in it and won't burn as well when it clings on like that. It will burn fine because it's summer, but it will just smoke a lot and struggle. What do you think, guys? Blue or purple? Purple. Please work, please work, please work. Yes. So I figure the cardboard might as well get used that came with that throw. I thought that would burn a lot better than it is, if I'm honest, being cardboard. That did not burn very well. I think I'll save some of that for breakfast. Oh, this will get the midges away and the mosquitoes. Place 350 millilitres of water and butter, if you fancy, in a saucepan and bring it to the boil. Stir in the pack contents. Boil gently, stirring occasionally for 5 minutes or until pasta is tender. Yeah, right. So basically, add boiling water. I've got my my flavoured water. How lucky I am. Oops. Apple and raspberry, eh? That is actually quite nice. I just don't think it's going to go with tomato pasta. So the idea of what I'll do, folks, is try and boil water in this camping cook tin, which is the only camping related item I could see in Poundland. And I don't even know if that's fire safe. Hate it when stickers do that. So frustrating. Why can't you just peel cleanly, damn it? Oh, nearly. But there's no handle on this thing, that's what's frustrating. I really don't know how I'm going to do this. Ah, that's so hot. Okay. I'm just going to maybe try and keep the fire on one side of the bowl. We'll see how that goes. Build up the fire on the one side and see if the water will boil on the other side without overheating, without spilling over, sorry. It's very tricky. Hold on guys, we have got another camping item. Pro Camp LED headlamp with no batteries, and the strap isn't even attached. What is that? Instructions. What is it with his stickers in Poundland? Oh, do you know what? It's not even worth it. Got the strap attached. Oh, bloody hell, that's bright. Wow. There's such a little torch, that's ridiculous. That is actually really decent. It's not properly, it's not dark yet, as you can see. But look at this thing. That is insane power for a £1 something torch. I'm impressed with that. Oh, it's got a strobe function. Bright, low, strobe. I'm genuinely really impressed with this thing. This tiny little head torch uses 3 AAA batteries, 2 settings, strobe setting. That's really good. I'm impressed. Anyway, I've been whittling away with my scissors for half an hour, trying to make some sort of fork because I need to eat. I've got no utensils, and I tried to make this pretty much the depth of the pasta packet. The water's not quite boiling, but it's hot enough to add to this. I'm just going to have to stir it loads. But I popped the lid on. I kind of part put the lid on, and it's still too hot to lift. I'm going to have to use some sticks. But it's no, it's too hot. It's almost bubbling. It's at that not a rolling boil stage, but just lots of little bubbles, which will do for me for pasta. I think it might actually be boiling now. Oh yeah, it is. That's handy. But it's going to be impossible to try and get out without spilling it. Like that. Oh boy. That's not good. We're good. We're alright, boys. We saved it. Right, after that palaver, you're probably not meant to, but I've let it cool slightly. I'm going to add the water to the bag instead. And just hope that the bag doesn't leak. I mean, it doesn't look very appetizing. How long do I have to leave it in there for? 5 minutes. Okay. Just about, look at that folks, just about enough water to cover the top layer of pasta, which means it should absorb all of that water. I'd like to say that was planned, but it wasn't. Moment of truth, I kind of wrapped it and folded it down in the hope that the pasta would cook a little bit better, because I didn't have as much water as was meant to be in there. Some of it's quite hard. But it's a survival challenge. Come on. That's actually not too bad. That's quite good. I thought that would be a lot worse than what I thought it would be. Apologies, bachelors. It's very the problem with the pasta sauce is obviously I've got apple and raspberry with it, so it's kind of throwing the flavour a bit, but it wasn't actually too bad. It's a little bit sweeter than it probably should be. But I've got 4 of these 500ml bottles to keep it under the £20. This was the last thing I bought actually, I think, the water, to keep it under £20. So that's 2 litres, that's enough to get me by easy for 24 hours. It's gone really still now. We are 9:45 at night. Look how light it is. It's still, I mean, it's dark, like I've had to boost the camera settings, but you can still see the sky at 9:45 at night. That's what I love about this time of year. Coming up to the longest day though, June 21st I think it is, which would be summer solstice, so the longest day, most daylight hours. But it's beautiful. It's such a peaceful evening. There's no wind now, which is not great because the bugs are out. At the same time, it's very peaceful. This is fun. I'm enjoying this. I think I'm going to let the fire burn out. I don't need it for heat. I'm only kind of letting it smoulder and throwing in the odd stick, just so the smokes can get rid of mosquitoes and the bugs a bit. But they will feast on me the moment that dies out. And this is just to try and take the edge off. It's still really warm. It's probably about 14 degrees Celsius. I'm sweating. This is just to take the edge off a bit. And I always do this, folks, but I put my warmer layer on before I start feeling cold, because it just traps my body heat a lot more. Whereas once I've got cold and then I go to put a layer on, I find it much harder to warm up. So it's just better to trap it if you can. Oh, I'm going to call it a night. This is me done. It's a very skimpy little throw, this blanket. No pillow. I have the old British flag I could use, but I'm just going to sleep on my arm tonight. It's going to be an uncomfortable one. Oh. Anyway, folks, I'll see you in the morning and let you know if I survive. Oh dear. Good morning all. Not the greatest of nights, but that was to be expected. I did get quite cold at one point, so I got up and had a walk around just to get the blood flowing again. I knew I would get cold because obviously I'm not raised up off the ground on a raised bed, and I had no like I say, debris leaves underneath me. But I didn't sleep too badly. I'm going to get a fire going now, and it's time to eat the last of my food, which is the joyous baked beans. I'm going to do the fire a little bit differently this morning, with the duct tape as I lit it differently last night. I do have the cardboard, but I figure let's try and use something else. Okay, I don't need a lot about that. If you guys have never done this before with duct tape, you just peel it into thin strips and roll those strips into a ball. That tends to be what I do, just little thin strips, at least thinner than what this is here. Obviously I've got the cardboard, so I know that's going to work anyway. I'm trying to use everything I've got. I've even got actually the cardboard that this packaging came with, so I could use that if I needed to. You've got to be fairly careful because obviously it's all the hot glues in it and stuff, that's the stickiness that's making it melt. We have fire, baby. Beans in my trusty enamel pot, camping pot, which is actually warped since I last used it. I'm going to do the same as yesterday where I boiled the water and try and have the fire towards one side. If this was like a campfire on the floor, it'd obviously be a lot easier for me to manage and put something on for the beans in the water to boil. But because I'm doing it in this, it's a little bit trickier. There we go. Beans in, bit of mud and dirt. Lid that doesn't fit now on. And now we wait. Well, I have to admit, apple and raspberry flavoured water is not too bad. Obviously when drinking on its own it's good, but it wasn't too bad with the pasta, just a little bit sweet. Oh, what a beautiful morning though. Part of the reason I chose this night to do, well, these last 2 days to do this trip, because it was such hot weather. I knew it'd be a really nice night. Mild at night too, which is important because, you know, I didn't have a thermal rated sleeping bag, just a little blanket. So another reason I chose it. I'm layered up. I've got merino wool base layers, 2 t-shirts, and then this on top as well. And yeah, I was still cold, which I knew I would be, like I say. But that was good fun. What do you guys think should be next? What challenge, shop, whatever? I've got a few ideas in mind that I've written down, but it'd be cool to hear your suggestions on the next survival challenge. Survival. Love it. Look guys, we know it's not raw survival, is it? You can easily survive with no food and water for 24 hours. It's a camping trip really, but it's fun. That's what it's all about. Bit of fun. I haven't done this type of thing for so long. Well, other than I did actually do the Amazon Prime next day delivery camping challenge with a budget loadout, which I'll put a link to here. It's only a few videos back on my channel, but I'll put that there. Some very bubbly beans. Certainly warm enough. Ow. Oh, that's hot. Right, let's give them a go. The old enamel pot has survived. despite being slightly warped. Poundland beans. Don't even know what brand it is. Manor Grove baked beans. It's not Heinz. Nice, actually. Nice smoky flavour. Beans in enamel. I have survived the night, folks. Right, I'm going to smash through these, and then we'll pack up camp. Tell you what though, those beans didn't really stick at all in that pan. Look, that's not even like properly stuck. I can move all that. I'm actually pretty damn impressed with the with that. I thought they would really burn in and just stick to the whole pan. But I know enamel's obviously good for that. I'm really quite impressed with that. Yeah, not bad. So the thing with this type of string is once you tie a knot in it, it goes into the tiniest little knot and it's really difficult to undo. Some of my trusty scissors come in. The tarp itself did the job. It didn't rain, but because it was so small, where I tied it up against the tree, I had to have, it was always going to be a relatively steep angle on the tarp because it was so small. So if it was a rainy night, I probably would have got wet, or I'd have had to sleep with the tarp like right here against my face. But it did the job for last night, just kept the breeze off me. The things that I'm most impressed with on this Poundland challenge is the enamel cookpot, camping cookpot. I do like, and it's got little latches that sort of secure the lid together. That one's warped, so it doesn't really shut, but there we go, you can see what I mean. Essentially those little latches secure the lid together, but it's more of like I think it's more of a bowl. You know, it's like a bowl that you would just eat out of. It's not really for cooking in, although it's done it for me. But it, you know, for the price, that was quite handy. I'd say the downside is it doesn't have any sort of folding handle, so it's always hard to get off the fire, which tells me obviously it's more of a bowl and less of a cook pot. But if they could adapt that and have a little folding handle out, perfect, ideal. It did the job though. And then the other thing I was mega impressed with for the price is this little head torch. It feels cheap. It feels plasticky, cheap. The strap doesn't feel great, but the brightness of it was ideal. So for £1 something, whatever this was, I'll put it on the screen. It's impressive. I liked it. Blanket was for £6. No, not amazing. Food was okay. I liked the food. It was always going to be quite simple. Scissors were scissors, the string was the string, and the duct tape was the duct tape. Those are the two main items for this that I liked, and a little cook pot. But that's it. My camp is tidy. I've tidied up. I've swept all the leaves back, and yeah, that's the challenge complete. So good fun. I've enjoyed it. Hope you guys have enjoyed it too. I'm going to be at the Wild in Us festival. It's the first time in the UK that it's happened. It's kind of a bushcraft wilderness festival with music and combined with the bushcraft and stalls and stands and things like that. I'm pretty sure, I'm just checking dates, it's July the 7th to the 9th, or that weekend of the 8th to the 9th. It's over in Somerset. If you guys are around, I'm going to be there for a few days with the family. If you guys are around, feel free to come along. What else is going on? Oh, okay, Land Rover. Guys, lots of you have asked about the Land Rover, the military Land Rover. When's it going to be? When are you going to be camping in it? Because I did a video a few weeks back on the military Land Rover. Well, it's in the garage. being a Land Rover, it's done its journey that it has to go through. It's currently in the garage. There's a few things I need to get fixed on it before we go camping in it, and I'm waiting on a tent as well, hopefully that comes soon. But it is, the camping videos and that are going to come soon. I do appreciate your patience with that one, folks. But yeah, happy with that. Always better to be safe when having a fire. I've checked the ground, I've put the fire out with what's left of my little bits of fruity water. All the ants will be going crazy now. But yeah, thanks so much for watching. I do appreciate it, guys. If you enjoyed it, feel free to subscribe and check out more videos like this, which I'll put in the description below. Cheers for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.